In this video, we are targeting brook trout diamonds as well as cutthroat diamonds. If this video helps you catch a diamond, please remember to give it a like. Come back and leave a comment. Let me know you are successful. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Here is my latest catch screen. First fish at 2341 is a kokanee. Here's a brook trout. Brook trout diamond. Lots of cutthroat, brook, and kokanee. Another brook trout diamond. Last fish at 0010. Silver brook trout. That's 29 minutes. 2 diamond brook trout. Here's another latest catch screen. First fish at 343 was a cutthroat. Lots of kokanee rainbow and cutthroats. Here's a cutthroat diamond and a brook trout diamond, followed by back-to-back golds. Last fish at 407, that's 34 minutes. 2 diamonds. I want to start out by saying that my original intention was to do separate guides for the brook trout and cutthroat trout. However, as I tested methods to restrict them, for example, grub for the cutthroat or cheese and swim bait for the brook, it became very obvious to me that they are very intertwined, and getting the correct spawns to get to the diamond really required fishing both at the same time. And gold hook strategies didn't work either, so I had to work through all of the options, and what you'll see coming up next is the best solution I could find, and it does target both at the same time. Let's take a quick look at the brook trout. For the traits, it's easily spooked. Don't jump in the water or splash around. You might see one jump. If you see a big one, target it. It's a jumper. Last stand, expect a tough fight at the end. And it's a sun lover, so expect to use a day server. For the bait and lure preferences, first one on the list is your bait ball. I'm going to use spinner at the end of the first line and eggs, the very first option, on the second line. For cutthroat trout, the only difference in the traits is the hard fighter. We're going to use gear that can handle both. And the bait and lure preference is very similar, although you'll note you can target just cutthroat with grub on that last line. The maximum cutthroat trout is just under 15 pounds, and I recommend sizing the gear for the larger of the fish, which is the cutthroat. So you can see here I'm using a lure spinning rod that I haven't fully mastered. I recommend anything from 15 and up is fine. That ties into a 1-to-1 and will give you a reasonable fight, but nothing crazy. If you want higher score, you can certainly go lighter line if you want. You can see I'm using 15-pound fluorocarbon. And the 6 spinner, that is for the in-hand. And for your rod holders, I recommend the blinder feeder rod, 15-pound reel and line. Any sinker will do. Size 6 hook and eggs. And as you can see, I have 2 identical setups. Make sure you configure your hand for pro performance. If you have a catapult, I use the medium. Make sure you equip that with pro performance as well. I am going to show you 3 different options for locations. The first one is southwest of the main outpost. It is near the full stomach, and you can see where I have parked my boat over by all these diamond markers. I like this one the best for cutthroat trout, and then locations 2 and 3, I like to favor brook trout. Now, you will definitely catch both at all 3 locations. However, if your target is cutthroat, I suggest this one. And if your target is Brook, I suggest 2 or 3. Locations 2 and 3 are southeast of the main outpost. I recommend a morning server start for both of these. Here is the Blackfoot Basin Trailhead. Here is location 2, the deep spot. You can drive the Jeep over to here. And you can see I kept going with the Jeep to location 3, and it is currently parked there. To catch brook and cutthroat trout diamonds in the Golden Ridge USA map, start in a morning server. The exception to that is full stomach. If you don't want to work through the rainbow trout, it is okay to start at noon. You can fish as long as you like, but I recommend stopping about 1700 or 5 p.m. For the gear, you're going to want to use 2 feeder bottom rigs with size 6 hook that's silver with eggs, and 1 lure spinning rig with size 6 spinner. Use Pro Performance to attract them. In this location, I prefer the boat and ignoring the rod holder option, but you can certainly use them right there on shore if you like. Watch out, the current is strong. If you do not have your rod out, you will drift pretty quickly. I like to park right at this point so I can cast back into those lily pads and forward up into the river mouth. And for this one, I do use the medium catapult, but you can certainly use the hand as well if you don't have a catapult. Nothing more to it than to just cast through. 2x or 3x is perfectly fine for the reel speed. Keep your eyes open. Sometimes you can see the diamonds swimming by shore or at the boat. You'll see a big one go by. Sometimes you get better glare on the water than others. And there's a brook trout. So I would fish that bait ball and 30 seconds after, but for demonstration, just gonna put one over here and check back there. So I usually do 2 or 3 toward the river mouth and then alternate to back here. I have caught plenty of diamonds back towards that area, and there's something decent. Guessing this is a rainbow. And it is. So you get quite a lot of these in the morning. If you don't really want a rainbow, then I suggest starting at noon or a little later in the morning, 8 or 9 in the morning. Saw a nice jump right there. I'm not sure exactly what that was. Looked like a rainbow to me. Nothing too huge. Just keep casting through those bait balls. This is something small, probably a brook trout. No, small rainbow. You can also try over there if you like, occasionally. But I primarily like to target forward here. That's really all there is to this spot. And the trick is just to cast through the bait balls and watch for the big ones to surface near your boat. There's another silver brook trout. Location 2, I like to put a marker in the deep spot just so I have a target. Don't forget, in order to see your Jeep, you're going to need to fast travel to this trailhead first, and then you can hop over to the Jeep. I like to use this big rock right over here. Grab one of my rod holders. Make sure in the lower left it says put rod in holder. You'll see if I go too far down, that goes away. Just going to put that in. Grab my other one. And when you aim over this way, you'll notice you have to be higher up the rock for some reason. That's okay. It makes it a little easier to pick them up. And up to you, you can either use one bait ball in the middle or one on each. Then I'm going to grab my in hand and just cast through them. Guessing small cutthroat. And it is. There's a bite on the rod holder. Let that go to gold. Pick it up. This is probably a small brook trout. And there it is. Put that right back out there with a forward only half cast. If you want more brook trout or only brook trout on the rod holders and to focus on the in hand, you can change those to cheese, and then only brook trout will bite on them. I do think it's better to farm out the other fish, and maybe whatever respawns in will be a big brook trout. There's a kokanee. And we're getting a bite on the other rod holder. So you can see, just farm through these. Nothing more to it. I'm guessing this is another small brook trout. Wait 30 seconds for that after that bait ball expires, and then put a new one out there. There's another brook trout. That one's nibbling, but I'll put this one back out. You have 30 seconds to get that other one, so no big rush. Probably another cutthroat. Silver. And this is where you have fun when you get two. Can you make it in 30 seconds? I can try and rip it in. And if I was really concerned, I would cut this one off. In fact, let's see. This is kind of on the edge. This could be a decent brook trout. I can't quite tell. Oh, cutthroat. Let's see if I still have time. And I did not make it, but that's okay. You get the point. So I probably would have cut that off because it's just a little too small to be a brook trout diamond. And just refresh that bait ball. And keep right on going. And now location 3. You can see I've parked the Jeep here. You can fish from the dock if you like, but I prefer this rock right here. Come over here and hop up on it. Grab a rod holder, and I like to put one over in this direction and make sure that we can put it in the rod holder in the lower left. Put it out there. Put one out this way. Put a bait ball out approximately the same distance as the half cast. Grab your in hand and cast through the bait balls. You can just alternate. You'll probably get the most bites out of whichever bait ball you put down first, but it's not an absolute. So what I'll typically do is cast through that bait ball, because I did that one first. Looks like a small silver cutty here. Probably. Oh, rainbow. And you can hear the rod holder going off. Don't panic, you got 30 seconds. This is going to be a small brook trout. So what I tend to do is keep casting through the one that I put down first while picking up the in-hands. 30 seconds after those expire, I put the other one out first. And then cast through that one. And just alternate back and forth. You can certainly move them around a little bit if you like. Your goal is just to cover this area. That's all there is to this spot. Happy fishing. Have a good one. Please click on the logo bottom left to subscribe to my channel. Check out my other content and don't forget to hit the like button on the video.